on earth and never seen one, God and sinners reconcile. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies, with angelic hosts proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King.
Jacob Marley was dead.
Dead as a doornail.
Scrooge knew this. They had been partners for I don't know how many years. Marley and Scrooge.
Scrooge had been Marley's sole friend, sole executor and sole mourner at the funeral, though he was not so dreadfully cut up about it that he did not haggle over the undertaker's bill.
He had never painted out old Marley's name, and it still stood, years afterwards, above the warehouse door.
Oh, but he was a tight-fisted man, was Scrooge. A scraping, wrenching, grasping, clutching, covetous old sinner.
Hard and sharp as flint, secret and self-contained as an oyster. No one ever stopped him in the streets to say,
My dear Scrooge, how are you? When will you come to see me?
No children asked him what it was o'clock, and no man or woman ever inquired as to such a place of Scrooge. Even the dogs appeared to know him, and would tug their owners into doors when they saw him coming.
But what did Scrooge care? It was the very thing he liked.
Once upon a time, one Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house. It had only just gone 3, but it was dark already. The fog poured in every chink and keyhole, making the houses opposite seem mere phantoms.
Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Humbug!
Christmas a humbug? You don't mean that, I'm sure.
I do. What right have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
Come, then, Uncle. What right have you to be so dismal? You're rich enough.
Humbug!
Don't be cross, Uncle.
Well, what else can I be when I live in a world of crediting fools such as this? Merry Christmas. Out with Christmas. What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money? A time when you find yourself a year older and not an hour richer. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes around with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled with his own Christmas pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart.
Uncle!
You keep Christmas in your way, and you let me keep it in mine.
Keep it, Uncle, but you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone then. Much good may it do you. Much good has it ever done you.
I'm sure I've always thought of Christmas time as a good time. A kind, forgiving, charitable time. The only time when men and women open their hearts freely to one another. And though it has never put a scrap of gold in my pocket, I believe it has done me good and will do me good. So I say, God bless it.
Another sound from you, sir, and you will celebrate your Christmas by losing your situation. You're quite an orator, sir. I wonder you don't stand for Parliament.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come, dine with us tomorrow. But why? Why?
Tell me, why did you get married?
Because I fell in love.
Because you fell in love. Good afternoon.
I want nothing of you. I ask nothing of you. Why cannot we be friends?
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry to find you so resolute. We've never had a quarrel to my knowledge. But I came here in homage to Christmas. So I shall keep my Christmas homage to the last. As I say, Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon!
And a Happy New Year.
Humbug!
Compliments of the season, Mr. Cratchit.
Oh, thank you very much.
Hold your tongue, Cratchit. What do you think you're doing?
I was just putting another bit of coal on the fire, sir. It being so cold.
You put it back where you found it. A fire? A fire indeed. If you carry on using coal at that rate, you and I will soon be parting company. Do you understand me?
Well, it's just that my fingers are getting frozen up with the coal, sir.
Work a little faster. Oh.
Scrooge and Marley's, I believe. Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead these 7 years. In fact, he died 7 years ago this very night.
Oh, well, we have no doubt his liberality is well represented by his surviving partner.
At this time of year, it is more than usually desirable that we should make some slight provision for the poor and destitute, who suffer greatly at the present time. Many thousands are in want of common necessaries. Hundreds of thousands are in want of common comforts, sir.
Are there no prisons?
Plenty of prisons.
And the union workhouses, are they still in operation?
They are. Still, I wish I could say there were not.
The poor law and the treadmill are in full vigour then.
Both very busy, sir.
Well, I'm afraid from what you said at first that something must have happened to have stopped them in their useful course.
Well, given that they scarcely furnish Christian cheer, we endeavour to raise funds to buy some meat and drink for the poor and means of warmth. We choose this time because it is a time of all others where want is keenly felt and abundance rejoices. What shall I put you down for?
Nothing.
You wish to be anonymous?
I wish to be let alone. I don't make merry myself at Christmas, and I cannot afford to make idle people merry. Those who are badly off must go to the establishment that I have mentioned.
But many can't go there. Many would rather die.
If they would rather die, then they had better do it and decrease the surplus population. Besides, it's not my business. My own business occupies me constantly. Oh, good afternoon to you. Go on, away, yeah?
And with true love and brotherhood each other now embrace. This holy tide of Christmas doth bring redeeming.
Get away with you! You'll want all day tomorrow, I suppose.
Well, if it's convenient, sir.
When I pay you 15 shillings, it's neither convenient nor fair. If I was to charge you half a crown for it, you would consider yourself ill-used. I'll be that. But yet, you don't consider me ill-used when I give you a day's pay for no work.
Only once a year, sir, and my wife, Mrs.
Oh, it's a poor excuse for picking a man's pocket. Every 25th of December. Still, be here all the earlier the next morning.
Oh, I will, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And a very good...
Right.
Right, sir.
Scrooge took his melancholy dinner in his usual melancholy tavern, then went home to bed. The yard of his house was so dark that even Scrooge, who knew its every stone, had to grope forwards with his hands.
Jacob Marley. 7 years since I've heard that name. Still, Jacob, you're better off away from it all. Tedious beggars and miserable carol singers, wanting the earth and hoping for charity. Charity! Humbug!
Explain to me if you can how it happened that Scrooge, having his key in the lock of his door, saw in the door knocker Marley's face. It was not in impenetrable shadow like the rest of the yard, but had a dismal light about it, like a bad lobster in a dark cellar. It was not angry or ferocious, but looked to Scrooge as Marley used to look. And then suddenly, there was a knocker again.
It's humbug still. I won't believe it. Jacob Marley, I knew I saw your face in the door. I don't forget, Jacob. What do you want with me?
Much.
Well, you better sit down then. Can you sit?
I can.
Do it then.
You do not believe in me.
I don't.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Because the slightest thing makes no sense of them. The smallest disorder of the stomach makes them cheats. For all that I know, you could be, a bit of undigested beef, a blot of mustard, or a fragment of underdone potato. There's more of gravy than the grave about you. You're fettered. Tell me why.
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link and yard by yard. Girded it on of my own free will, and of my own free will I wore it. Is it pattern strange to you? Do you know the length and the weight of the coil you bear yourself? It was as full and heavy as this 7 Christmas Eves ago, and you've laboured on it since. It is a ponderous chain.
Jacob! Oh, Jacob, don't frighten me like this. Speak comfort to me, Jacob. Yeah.
I have none to give. I cannot rest. I cannot stay. I cannot linger anywhere. In life, my spirit never roved beyond the walls of our counting house. Mark me! In life, my spirit never moved beyond the narrow confines of our money-changing hold. And now, what weary journeys without rest lie before me. Oh, no amount of regret can make amends. Yet such was I, such was I.
You were a man of business, Jacob.
Business? Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, and benevolence were all my business. And it is at this time of year I feel it the most. For why did I walk amongst crowds of my fellow beings with my eyes cast down, and never raised it to the blessed star that led the wise men to the poor abode? Were there no poor homes to which it could have conducted me? Hear me. My time is short.
I will, but don't be hard on me, Jacob.
Oh, I have sat invisible beside you, day upon day. And that is no light part of my penance. I'm here to warn you. There may be a chance and hope that you can avoid my fate.
You were always a good friend to me, Jacob.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Is that the chance and hope you mentioned? I think I'd rather not, no.
Without their visit, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first spirit when the bell tolls 1. The second spirit on the second night at the second hour. And the third spirit on the third night, when the last stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate.
Couldn't I take them all at once and get them over with?
Look to see me no more. But for your own sake, remember what has passed between us.
Scrooge thought and thought and thought it over and could make nothing of it. The more he thought, the more perplexed he was, and the more he endeavoured not to think, the more he thought.
Marley's ghost bothered him exceedingly. Every time he resolved to himself that it was just a dream, his mind flew back again and presented the same problem.
Was it a dream or not?
Remembering that Marley had said there would be a visitation that night at 1, he resolved to lie awake until the bell struck the hour.
Quarter past.
Half past. Quarter to.
itself. And nothing else. Are you the spirit whose coming was foretold me?
I am.
And what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
Your past.
What business brings you here?
Your welfare.
I feel a night of unbroken rest might be more conducive to my welfare, thank you very much.
Your reclamation, then. Take heed. Rise.
What?
And walk with me.
But the hour, the temperature, I'm in my night clothes. I have this dreadful cold. I'll fall.
Take my hand, and you shall be upheld.
I was a boy in this place. I was bred here.
You know the way?
Oh, I could walk it blindfold.
Let us go to the schoolhouse. A solitary child, neglected by his friends, is left there, still.
Poor sad child. Has he no comfort? I wish I'd...
What's the matter?
Nothing. There was some carol singers at my door last night. I should like to have given them something, that's all.
Just see another Christmas, another year.
Ebenezer, dear brother, I've come to bring you home. Home, little friend? Yes, home. For good and all. Home forever and ever. Father's so much kinder than used to be that home's like heaven. He spoke so gently to me one dear night when I was going to bed that I was not afraid to ask him once more if you might come home. And he said yes, you should, and send me to coast to bring you. And you're never to come back here, but first we're to be together all Christmas long and have the merriest time in the world. You're quite a woman, little friend.
Always a delicate creature, whom a breath might have withered, but she had a large heart.
Oh, so she had. You're right. I will not gainsay it, Spirit.
She died. A woman. Had, as I think, children?
One child.
Two. Your nephew. Come.
Yes.
Do you know this place?
Muggins. I was apprenticed here. Oh! It's old Fezziwig, bless his heart. It's Fezziwig come alive again.
Yo-ho, Ebenezer, Dick, come here. No more work tonight. It's Christmas Eve, Ebenezer. Christmas, Dick. Put the shutters up. Come on, hurry up. Shutters up.
It's Dick Wilkins. It's my old friend Dick Wilkins. I haven't seen seen him since I excellent. You did that as fast as Jack Robinson. Now, clear away, let's have a party! Oh, Mrs. Fezziwig, here you are, my dear. Here you are, glass for you. Small ones, girls. Small ones.
A toast to the best host in town, Mr. Fezziwig.
And Mrs. Fezziwig.
Oh, Mrs. Fezziwig.
And their daughters.
To all the Fezziwigs in the land. Dancing. Let's have a dinner. Let's have some dancing. Come on, hurry up, it's your night. Come on, you over there. Right, Mrs. Fezziwig. Lovely seeing you. Oh, time for the girls to go to bed. Here we go, Mrs. Casey. Yes. Well, clear up, and then you can be off. Oh, go on, Miguel.
Mr. Fezziwig is so good to us. He's the soul of generosity.
Such a small thing to make those silly folks so full of gratitude.
Small?
Why, is it not? He has spent but a few pounds of your mortal money. 3, maybe 4. Is that so much that he deserves all this praise?
It isn't that, Spirit. He has the power to make us happy or unhappy, to make our service a pleasure or a toil. His power lies in words and looks and things so small and insignificant. But the happiness that he gives is as great as if it cost a fortune.
What is the matter?
Nothing particular.
Something, I think.
No, I should like to say a few words to my clerk just now, that's all.
My time grows short. Quick!
It matters little. To you, very little. Another idol has displaced me, and if it can cheer and comfort you in time to come as I would have tried to do, I have no cause to grieve.
Who has displaced you?
The idol of money. I have seen your nobler aspirations fall off one by one until the master passion gain engrosses you.
And what then? Even if I have grown so much wiser, what then? I'm not changed towards you, am I?
Our contract is an old one. It was made when we were both poor and content to be so, until in good season we could improve our worldly fortune by our patient industry. You are changed. When our contract was made, you were another man.
I was a boy.
You are not what you are. I am. Which promised happiness when we were one in heart is fraught with misery now that we are two. How often and how keenly I have thought of this, I will not say. It is enough that I have thought of it and can release you.
Have I ever sought release?
In words, no, never. But in a changed nature, an altered spirit. If this had never been between us, tell me, would you seek me out and try to win me now? No.
You think not?
Can I believe that you would choose one such as I? Surely your regret would follow. No, Ebenezer. It is with a full heart for the love of him you once were that I release you. You may, the memory of what is past half makes me hope you will have pain in this. It's only for a very brief time. May you be happy in the life you have chosen.
No more. I beg you. Why did you like to torture me?
are the shadows of things that have been, that they are what they are. Do not blame me!
I cannot bear it! Hold me no longer!
Awakening in the middle of a prodigiously tough snore, Scrooge needed no occasion to be told that the bell was again upon the stroke of 1.
Back!
Ebenezer Scrooge! Come in! Come in and know me better, man. I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. You have never seen the like of me before?
Never, Spirit. Spirit. I went forth last night and I learnt a lesson that is working within me still. If you have aught to teach me, let me profit by it.
Touch my robe. Gingerbread!
Apples! Apples! Juicy apples all the way from Kent! 3 for 4 in the Eccles of the Valley Town. Cheers! Apples! Apples! My own juicy apples! Apples! Apples from Kent! Nice Kentish apples! Here! Come here, you thief! Cool! Apples here, like some apples, little girl. Apples. Nice juicy apples. 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 Please reform me. Apples.
Son of God, last good night.
Is there some peculiar magic in your touch, Spirit?
There is. That of this season.
Would it apply to any person on this day?
To any kindly given. To a poor one most.
Well, why to a poor one most?
Because it needs it most.
Perhaps it was the good spirit's sympathy for all poor men that led it straight to the house of Scrooge's class. For there it went and took Scrooge with it, holding onto its robe.
Has ever got your precious father then? And your brother Tiny Tim? And Martha weren't as late last Christmas Day by half an hour.
Here's Martha, Mother.
Oh, bless your heart alive, my dear. How late you are.
We did a deal of work to finish up last night and had to pack away this morning, Mother.
Well, never mind. So long as you are come, now sit me down before the fire and have a little warm, Lord bless you.
No, no, there's Father coming.
Hi, Mother, hi!
Here we are then. Yeah. 1, 2, 4. Where's our Martha?
Not coming.
Not coming on Christmas Day.
There I am, Father!
Oh, Martha, I thought you weren't coming. Well, here we all are then, eh?
And how did little Tim behave?
Oh, he's good. as gold and better, don't you? Oh, yeah. You know, he gets thoughtful. Oh. He gets thoughtful, so sitting so much by himself. And he thinks the strangest things you ever heard. You know what he told me coming home? He said he hoped that people would see him in the church because he was a cripple. And it might be pleasant for him to remember on Christmas Day who made the lame beggars walk and who made the blind men see. Our little Timmy's getting strong and hearty, eh?
Yes, Robert.
Here we go. There we are. Whoa! Well, here we all are then, and God, oh well, Merry Christmas and God bless us, eh?
God bless us. God bless us, everyone.
Hey! All right. All right, mate. All right.
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner, and a crutch without its owner. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, none other of my race will find him here. What then? If he be like to die, he had better do it, and decrease the surplus population. Man, if man you be in heart, forbear until you've discovered what the surplus is, and where it is. Will you decide what men shall live, what men shall die? It may be that in the sight of heaven, you are more worthless and less fit to live than millions like this poor man's child.
Tell you what, Mr. Scrooge, I'll give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
Founder of the feast, indeed. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon. I hope he'd have good appetite for it.
Children, my dear, it's Christmas Day.
And it should be Christmas Day, on which one drinks the health of such an odious, stingy, hard, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Robert. He knows it better than you do, poor fellow.
Christmas Day, yeah?
I'll drink his health for your sake in the day, but not for his. A long life to him. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt.
Mr. Scrooge.
The mention of Scrooge's name cast a shadow over the party, which was not dispelled for a full 5 minutes. But after it had passed away, they were 10 times merrier than before. They were not a handsome family, they were not well dressed. Their shoes were far from waterproof, their clothes were shabby.
But they were happy, grateful, pleased with one another, and contented with the time. And when they faded, Scrooge had his eye upon them, and especially on Tiny Tim, until the very last.
If I do say so myself. It's getting all cold. Do you mind pressing? Oh, certainly, Mother, absolutely.
He said that Christmas was a humbug as I live. He believed it too.
More shame for him, Fred.
He's a comical old fellow, that's the truth, and not so pleasant as he might be. However, his offences carry their own punishment, and I've nothing to say against him.
Well, he is rich, Fred. At least you've always said so.
What of that, my dear? His wealth is of no use to him. He don't do any good with it. He don't make himself comfortable with it. He certainly hasn't the benefit of thinking he's ever going to benefit us with it.
I have no patience for him.
Oh, I have. I'm sorry for him. I couldn't be angry with Uncle if I tried. Who suffers by his ill will? Himself always. Here. He takes it into his head to dislike us, and he won't come and dine with us, and what's the consequence? He don't lose much of a dinner.
Indeed, I think it is a very good dinner.
I only meant the consequence of his not making merry with us is that he loses some pleasant moments, which could give no harm to him. He'd be happier here than in his dusty office or his mouldy chambers. I need to give him the same chance every year, whether he likes it or not, for I pity him. He may rout at Christmas till he dies, but one day, maybe he'll think better of it. I defy him. If he sees me going there in good temper, year after year, and saying, "Uncle Scrooge, how are you?" Only puts him in a vein to leave his poor clerk £50 when he goes, "That's something," and I think I shook him yesterday. Now, Games.
Yes. Oh, yes. What do you like? Yes. Oh, that is so much.
No, Spirit. Let me stay.
It cannot be done.
But a new game, Spirit. 1.5 hour, Spirit. Only one.
Well,
Is it a vegetable?
no.
A mineral.
No.
Animal then?
Yes.
Oh. A live animal?
Yes.
An agreeable animal?
No.
Does it grunt and groan?
Yes.
Well, does it live in London?
Yes.
A tiger?
Oh,
No.
Does it live in a menagerie?
No.
Oh, a horse? Or a cat?
An elephant?
No, no.
Is it a lively sort?
No.
Oh. Is it led by its master?
No.
Is it grizzled?
Yes.
Oh.
A bear?
Oh.
No, it's not a bear. Oh, you'll never get it.
Oh. Oh, no, hang on. I think I've got it. I think I've worked it out. I know what it is, Fred. I know what it is.
What is it?
It's your uncle.
He is a bear.
Yes, yes. Now, he's given us much merriment, and it would be ungrateful not to drink yourself. So, here is a toast. There's some long wine. There we are. Thank you. For you. It's all right, mate, at the moment. There we are. As I say, Uncle Scrooge.
Uncle Scrooge.
A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to the old man. He wouldn't take it from me, but he may have it nevertheless. Uncle Scrooge.
Uncle Scrooge.
Thank you. Oh, so kind of them. Where next then, Spirit?
I go no further. My time upon this globe is very brief. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight, at midnight. Hark. My time is drawing near.
Spirit, forgive me if I'm not justified in what I ask, but I see something strange and not belonging to yourself. A hand, a foot, I cannot make it out. They're children. Spirit,
They
they're
are
yours.
man's. And they cling to me, appealing from their fathers. The boy is ignorance, the girl is want. Beware of them both, and all of their degree. But most of all, beware this boy, for upon his brow I see the rich and rich's doom.
Well, have they no refuge or resource?
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
No. Spirit!
Oh, look here, Mr. Milby, here's a chance. If we haven't all three met here without meaning it.
It's not like we're strangers, eh, Ada? You two are both here in haste.
What odds then? What odds, Mrs. Dilber? Every person has a right to take care of themselves. He always did.
Oh, that's true indeed. No man more so.
Don't stand staring as if he was afraid. Woman, who's the wiser? We're not going to pick holes in each other's coats, I suppose.
Indeed, no, we should hope not.
Well, that's it then. Who's the worse for the loss of a few old things like this? Not a dead man, I suppose.
No, indeed, no.
If he wanted to keep hold of them after he was dead, why wasn't he natural in his lifetime? If he had been, then he'd have had somebody to look after himself after he was dead, instead of lying there gasping at his last alone, all by himself.
That's a very true word that you've said there. It's a judgment upon him.
I wish it was an heavier one, and it should have been. You may depend upon it. It's no sin what we're doing. What you got there, Mr. Milby?
Now, Ada, you said it yourself. Every person has a right to look after themselves. That's all I'm doing. You might ask Mrs. Dilber what she just put under her apron there. What are you doing?
What's it look like? about them, I dare say. This is the end of it, you see. He frightened everybody away from him while he was alive to profit us when he was dead. Oh. Oh.
A dream. Just a dream. You're about to show me the shadows of the things that have not yet been, but will happily the time before us. Is that so, Spirit? Ghost of the future. I fear you more than any spectre that I have seen. But as I know that your purpose is to do me good, as I hope to be a different man from what I was, I'm prepared to bid you company, and to do it with a grateful heart. Will you not talk to me? Very well then. Lead on, Spirit. The night is waning fast, and it's precious time to me, I know. Lead on.
No, I don't know much about it either way. I only know he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
Why, what was the matter with him? I thought he'd never die.
God knows.
Well, old Nick has got his own at last, eh? What has he done with his money?
Left it to his company, perhaps? He hasn't left it to me, that's all I know. It's likely to be a very cheap funeral, for upon my life I don't know of anyone to go to it. Suppose we three make up a party and volunteer.
I don't mind going if a lunch is provided.
Well, I am the least interested amongst you after all, for I never wear black gloves and I never eat lunch. But I'll offer to go along if anyone else will. When I've come to think about it, I'm not at all sure I wasn't his most particular friend, but we used to stop and speak whenever we met. Bye-bye.
Seasonable for Christmas time. You're not a skater, I suppose?
No, far too busy. Good morning.
Scrooge was at first surprised that the spirit should attach such importance to conversations apparently so trivial. But feeling assured that they must have some hidden purpose, he set himself to consider what that was likely to be.
They could scarcely be supposed to have any bearing on the death of Jacob, his old partner, for that was past, and this ghost's province was the future.
Nor could he think of anyone intimately connected to himself to whom he could apply them. But he had the expectation that the conduct of his future self would give him the clues that he had missed and would render the solution to these riddles easy.
Yes, I see that the case of this sad man might be much like my own. My own life attends that way now.
Yes.
Let the charwoman alone to be the first, the laundress alone to be the second, and the undertaker's man alone to be the third. I was here rid of you.
Now. You couldn't have bettered a better place. Come into the parlour. We're none of the strangers here, eh? No. Oh, stop until I close the door of the shop. Oh, how it screams, eh? There ain't such a rusty bit of metal in the place, I say, as its own hinges. And there ain't such a pair of old bones in the place as mine, eh? Well, we're well suited, eh? We're well suited. Come into the parlour.
Open my bundle first, though, and let me know the value of it. I'm not afraid to be the first, not afraid for them to hear it. We knew pretty well that we were helping ourselves before we met here. Now, what did you give me?
Excuse me.
Rubbish. Yeah. Right, here's your account, and yeah, if you was to ask me for 6pence more, I wouldn't do it if I was to be boiled in oil. Now, who's next? Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I always give too much to my girls. And, yeah, it's a weakness of mine. And that's how I ruin myself. Now, if you was to ask me for a penny more and make it an open question, I might forget about my liberality and knock off a crown off.
Undo my bundle, Joe. Finally.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you call these? Bed curtains? You don't mean to say you took them down with him lying there?
Yes, I did. Why not?
Oh, you were born to make your fortune, and you'll certainly do it.
I certainly shan't hold me hand when I can get something in it by reaching out, I can tell you. Oh, don't drop any oil on them blankets now.
His blanket? Oh, I hope he didn't die of anything catching.
Oh, don't you be afraid of that. I ain't so fond of his company that I'd looked about him for such things as that. He did. Now you may look through that shirt till your eyes ache, but you won't find no hole in it, nor a threadbare place. It's the best he had, and a fine one too. They'd have wasted it if it not been for me.
What do you call the wasting of it?
Putting it on him to be buried in, to be sure. Some fool had put it on him, but I took it off again. If calico ain't good enough for such a purpose, it isn't good enough for anything. It's quite as becoming for the body. He couldn't look any uglier than he did in that one. Oh.
Hey, Money, go and start running. Oi. Get on these. Just because there's no one watching, be careful.
Even alone, get on here. No family like.
Oh. Look, let's stop here and have a breather.
Yeah, get it over here. I'm back here,
Heavy old wretch, isn't he? Don't speak ill of the dead.
Why not? You think he'll come back to haunt us? Hello? Anybody there?
It's a sad thing when a man has no one to send to his rest.
That's more than he deserves, I'm sure. What kind of man can't spirit up a single soul to mourn his passing? He must have been a right rotter. Good riddance.
Yeah, don't be kicking it. This might wake him up. Anyway, we've already down this end before. We're burying him down the cheap end, ain't we? Come on.
Right, sorry. Yeah, careful.
Oh, who cares? They always bury him uphill.
Oh.
I don't pay enough for this.
Oh,
I'll tell you.
It's no race.
Get local.
Show me some tenderness connected with the death, or else that scene that we left just now will be present forever within me.
He took a child and set him in the midst of them.
Colour hurts my eyes. They're better again now. Makes them weak by candlelight. And I wouldn't show weak eyes to your father when he comes home for the world. Must be near his time.
Past it, rather. I think he's walked a little slower than he used these last few evenings, Mother.
I've known him walk with I've known him walk with Tiny Tim upon his shoulder very fast indeed.
So have I, often.
He was very light to carry. Your father loved him so. There was no trouble. No trouble at all. Oh, there's your father at the door. You went today then, Robert?
Yes, my dear. I wish you could have gone. It'd have done you good to see how green a place it is, but you'll see it often enough. I promised him we'd walk there. On Sunday. My little boy.
They drew around the fire and talked. The girls and mother working still. Bob told them about the extraordinary kindness of Mr. Scrooge's cousin, whom he had scarcely seen but once, and who, seeing him in the street, and noting that he looked a little...
Just a little down, you know. And he inquired what had happened to distress me. Well, upon which, because he is the pleasantest spoke gentleman you ever heard, well, I told him. He said he was heartily sorry for it, and heartily sorry for my good wife. By the by, however he knew that, I don't know.
You what, my dear?
Well, you're a good wife.
Well, everybody knows that.
Very well spoken, my boy. I hope they do. I hope they do. Heartily sorry for your good wife, he said, and if I can be of any service in any way, and then he gave me his card, like his address. If I can help in any way, he said, that wasn't so much for the sake of anything he might actually do for us as just his kind way. And it was quite delightful. It really seemed as if he had known our Tim and felt with us.
I'm sure he's a good soul.
Well, you would be sure, my dear, if you saw and spoke with him. I shouldn't be at all surprised. Now, you mind what I say now. I shouldn't be at all surprised if he didn't get a better situation for our Peter.
Can you hear that, Peter?
And then Peter will be keeping company with someone and setting up for himself.
Get along with you.
Now, plenty of time for that, my dear. Plenty of time for that. But, however, and whenever we part from each other, I'm sure none of us will forget our poor Tim, shall we, in this first parting there was among us. No. And I know, my dears, that when we recollect how patient and how mild he was, even though he was such a little boy, we won't quarrel easily among ourselves and forget our Tim in doing it, now will we? I'm very happy. I'm very happy. Up front.
Spirit, something tells me that our passing moment is at hand. I know it, but know not how. Spirit, tell me this. That man in my dreams, you saw him too, didn't you? With those people picking over his belongings like carriers while he lay dead in his bed. And that coffin, who was its resident for who they showed no courtesy, civility, nor respect? Answer me this question. Are these the shadows of the things that will be, or are those the shadows of the things that may be only? Men's courses will foreshadow certain ends, which if persevered with, they must inevitably lead. But if the courses be altered, the ends may change. Say it is thus, with what you show me, Spectre.
Scrooge. Am I the man that lay in that bed? Who was in that coffin? Oh no, Spirit. No! No! I'm not the man that I was! I will not be the man that I must have been! Why show me all of this if I am beyond all hope? Tell me that I may cast away these shadows by an altered life. I will keep the spirit of Christmas and keep it in my heart all year round if I can. I will live in the past and the present and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. I will not cast out the teachings that they give me. Oh, tell me that I may sponge away the writings on that stone. I will live in the past and the present and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. Oh, Jacob Marley, heaven and the Christmas time be praised. I say it on my knees, oh Jacob, on my knees. Oh. They're not torn down. They're not torn down, rings and all. They're here. I am here. The shadows will be dispelled. They will. I know it. I know it. Oh. I'm so happy. I don't know what to do. I feel as light as a feather. I'm as happy as an angel. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. I'm as giddy as a drunken man. Whoop. Happy Christmas to all! Hello there, Merry Christmas to all the world! Oh. Here's my fireplace. Oh. Oh. Here's the door by which the ghost of Jacob Marley came. Oh. And here's the chair on which the ghost of Christmas present sat. Oh, it's all right. It's all true. It all happened. Oh, I don't know how long I've been alone among the spirits. I don't even know what day it is. I don't know anything. I'm quite a baby. Ha! Never mind. I think I'd rather be a baby. Hello there. Oh, hello. What day is it?
Sir?
What day is it, my fine fellow?
Why, Christmas Day.
Christmas Day? So I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. Well, of course they have. They can do anything. Hello there.
Hello?
Do you know the poulterers in the next street but one? The one by the corner?
I should hope I did.
What an intelligent boy. What a remarkable boy. Now, do you know if they've sold the prize turkey? Not the little prize turkey, the big one.
What as big as me?
Ah! What a delightful boy. It is a pleasure to talk to him. Why, yes, my young buck. The one as big as you.
It's hanging there now.
Is it? Is it? Go and buy it.
and tell them to bring it here so I can tell them where to send it. Yeah. Come back with a man, and I'll give you a shilling. But come back in less than 5 minutes, I'll give you half a crown. I'll send it to Bob Cratchit. He won't know who sent it to him. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim. Oh, my dear, hello. How good it is to see you. Thank you so much for coming to visit me yesterday. I do hope that you succeeded. Merry Christmas to you, sir. Madam.
Mr. Scrooge?
Yes, indeed, though I fear my name may not be pleasant to you. I do ask your apologies. I do beg your pardon. And, would you do me the honour of, accepting this, small gift?
Lord bless me, my dear Mr. Scrooge, are you serious?
I've never been more so, my dear fellow. A great many back payments are included within it. Would you do me that favour?
My dear sir, I don't know what to say to such kindness.
Don't say anything. Come and see me. You will come and see me.
I will.
Oh, bless you, bless you.
He went to church and walked about the streets and watched the people hurrying to and fro.
And petted the children on the head.
And questioned the beggars.
And looked down into the kitchens of houses.
And found that everything could yield him pleasure.
He never dreamed that any walk, that anything could give him such happiness. In the afternoon, he turned his steps towards his nephew's house.
What? Bless my soul. Who's this?
It is I, your Uncle Scrooge. I come for dinner.
My uncle.
May I come in?
Come in? Why, of course. Nothing will be heartier.
Thank you, thank you.
Monsieur arrived early at the office the next morning. If only he could be there first and catch Bob Cratchit coming in late. That's why he had set his heart upon.
What do you mean? Coming in at this hour?
I'm very sorry, sir. I'm behind my time.
Yes, sir, you are. I really do believe you are. Get this way, Cratchit.
I'm very sorry, sir. It's only once a year, and I was making rather merry last night. It'll not be repeated.
No. Indeed it will not, sir. Indeed it will not. I will not put up with this sort of thing any longer. And therefore, I am going to raise your salary. Eh? A Merry Christmas, Bob! A Merry Christmas that I've given you for many a year. I am going to raise your salary and help assist your struggling family. We will discuss your affairs this very afternoon over a bowl of smoking bishop.
Are you feeling quite well, sir?
I've never felt better, my dear fellow. Now, go and put some more coal on the fire. In fact, go out and buy another scuttle before you've got another eye, Bob Cratchit.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all and infinitely more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father.
He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew.
People laughed to see the alteration in him, but he let them laugh and little heeded them. His own heart's laugh, that was enough for him.
He had no further dealings with spirits and lived upon the total abstinence principle ever after. And it was said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge.
And so may it be said of us, and all of us. And as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone!